Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay. Hi guys. So in this question, we will have an event called Where That or Weekend English Talk with the topic of public speaking for introverts. But before that, let us introduce ourselves. My name is Abiana bin Idrizi.
Assalamualaikum, and my name is Aris Wicaksono. And my name is Rais Andra Putra.
And my name is Kevin Weber.
Okay. And here we have a guest. You can introduce yourself.
Okay, so hello everyone. My name is Torik Rahman Kansana. I'm an English teacher. Currently, I'm working for a private company, and here I am sitting with you guys in this webinar to talk about how introverts become better public speakers.
Okay. And uh, let's just start our event.
Okay.
Do you guys have some question to ask to Katori? You can just ask him.
Okay.
Okay, for rhetoric, I have some question to ask to you.
Okay.
Okay, so the first is how can introvert reframe the feeling of anxiety before a presentation into something positive or construction and or constructive.
Okay, can you repeat the question again? How can an introvert?
How to can introvert reframe the feeling of anxiety before a presentation into something positive or constructive?
Okay, so for introverts, yeah, especially when they want to be a public speaker, usually they're not used to talk to a lot of people, right? It's different from extroverts, where they usually talk to people because they like to do it. But for introverts, it sounds like it's scary because, well, they can socialize actually, but it's not like what they like the most. So, how to deal with anxiety when you go to the stage and talk in front of people? Well, actually, there is something called practice. So, there is one theory for introverts who wants to become a good speaker, a better public speaker, is that when they talk, they need to see it as a practice. For example, if you're an introvert and you go to the stage to give a speech, let's say, previously you need to make it, you need to practice about the speech, right? But how do you need to change, or how do you handle the anxiety when you're on stage? The answer is you also need to treat the performance as a practice as well. So you don't see it as a performance, but you still see it as a practice where you can still make mistakes, where you can do some improvements, where you can still change a little bit of your speaking, and that is all okay. So by seeing how the by seeing the performance as practice, you will get more to learn when you do the next public speaking. So I think that is how you deal with uh, the anxious feeling when you are on stage for introverts.
Oh, and quick question: the what techniques do you personally recommend for introvert who wants to improve their speaking skill?
Well, actually, there is no specific skills. There is still, the delivery more or less is the same as extroverts who want to be a better public speaker. If you think that every introvert, oh sorry, if you think that every extroverts are good in public speaking, you might need to see how they speak as a speaker rather than a person who starts to talk to other people, because it is different when you have the responsibility of going to the stage and when you are not going to the stage, right? You can just talk to people like to your friends, to your teachers, maybe to some strangers, to random people. They can do it, yes, but if you ask them to give some speech, they might not prepare for it, right? And that is why both introverts and extroverts, they need to practice, because there are things that is not, you know you do it differently when you are on stage and when you are not on stage. You cannot do some socialize, some casual chatting with people, with the audience, when you are giving formal speech, let's say, right? So you still need some preparation. You might need to memorize some text. You need to memorize the structure of your speech. And I think there is no difference between introverts and extroverts to how they prepare the speech, right? So there is no specific techniques. You can still learn how to deliver the speech as introverts or as extroverts.
Okay, maybe someone wants to ask some
Are you
question.
guys? How about you? Do you guys feel like you are introvert or extrovert? Anyone?
Oh, sorry. Me personally, I'm introvert. So
Okay. Yeah, I think most of the people here, or in, I think most of the people I know, usually they are also introverts. Not like, talking to people is actually normal, but when they are asked to stand in front of people and speak in front of them, they feel like it's a burden. It's scary. They're not used to it, right? Um, but if you think you are not able to give a speech in front of the audience, then I think you need more practice. It's not like you cannot do that, but you are not familiar to the situation. I personally, I feel like I'm an introvert, um, and then I ha- I didn't used to give speech or give some instructions to people, but then as the time goes, uh, I practice and I follow some programs that ask people to stand in front of others and give some talk for maybe like 1 or 2 minutes, and that's why and from that I get my confidence, because if back when I was a kid, when I was your age, if I didn't join that program, I might have not been able to speak in front of you guys for today. So practice is important, But don't see practice as, like hard practice. No, you can just do it at like 1 minute, 2 minutes, talking in front of your friends. And I think that would be really helpful.
I have a question. Uh,
Okay.
do introvert needs to change their personality to become uh, active public speaker?
Okay. Great question. So, do introverts need to change their personality in order to be a better public speaker? I personally believe you don't need to change your personality. Why? Because becoming a public speaker is not about your personality. It's about how you deliver your speech. Regardless of your personality, I don't know if you are an introvert, I don't know if you are an extrovert, or maybe you are an ambivert, like both of them. But if you don't practice, if you don't prepare for your speech, it will be the same, right? You would feel nervous still. You would feel not confident. But changing personality itself is a hard, it's a hard doing. You cannot just change your personality in just a day, in a night, right? So you might want to keep your personality as you are, but then you prepare for your speech. And introverts doesn't mean you cannot talk to people. It doesn't mean you have no friends, right? It doesn't mean you have no capability to speak in front of others. You are still able to do that. It's just the difference is when you are with your friends, maybe just two or three of them, you feel comfortable, right? You're not comfortable when they are a lot of people, when you are in a crowd, when you are, um, let's say, in 1,000 human. If there are thousand human and you are one of them, you wouldn't feel very comfortable, right? That's what makes it different from between the extroverts and the introverts. So it has nothing to do with personality. It's all about your preparation to the speech.
Okay, Assalamualaikum. Uh, I have a question for you. What are the natural strengths of an introvert that can make be a great strength in public speaking?
Okay, good. What are the natural strengths of an introvert that can be a great strength in public speaking? Basically, introverts has some limited room for themselves, right? You can have like 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 friends, and you can still feel comfortable. But if there are a lot of people in the room, you would feel more nervous than you usually feel, right? And the natural strength of an introvert is that they can control themselves when they are with people that they feel comfortable with. So, for example, if you are in a speech, you are going to the stage, it would be strange when you see 1,000 people in front of you and you know no one, right? They are all strangers. It doesn't feel like you are knowing one of them, so you feel more, the pressure is on. You feel like it's pressuring you. But if from 1,000 people in front of you, there are two or three people that you think you are comfortable with, you can feel like, oh, it's okay. I'm just talking in front of my friends. So the natural strength of an introvert is they are feeling comfortable with some people, right? It's different from extroverts. They can talk to strangers. Introverts, I don't think they can do that, right? So how to deal with that? The tips or the how do you say this? Like the technique, not the technique. Like the way to do this is that you invite one or two people that you really know to be in front of you or to be there with you, whether it's being the assistant or being the driver, maybe one of the audience. You feel like you are just talking in front of them, and if it happens, it would go smoother, it would go better than if there is no one that person knows from the audience, right? So the great strength of an introvert is that they can be very comfortable with people they know, and they wouldn't feel comfortable with some strangers and random guys, right? So that's how you deal with it. You can just invite one or two people that you really know, and and they make you feel really comfortable. And when you deliver the speech, just cheer for that person. I think that could be one of the strengths that they can have.
Oh, and I have a question again.
Mhm.
Can public speaking help introvert grow more confident in daily life?
Okay, nice question. Yes, by giving more public speaking, you feel well. At first, you would feel nervous. That's for sure. Everyone feel that, right? But as the time goes, you will feel like, oh, I have done this before. I've done this before. So you feel like, oh, it's nothing. It's just another practice. It's just another time to speech, right? Time to give the speech. And there is, if you feel like you have done something more difficult than the previous one, you would feel like, oh, this is nothing compared to the opportunity that I have last time, right? Maybe you have like 10 opportunities to speak in front of people. The first one is just for 5 people. The second one, 10 people. The third one, maybe 100 people. You give the speech in front of 100 people, and then over time you will feel like, oh, it's just a number of audience. It doesn't matter, right? You would feel like, oh, I've done this with 100 people. Next time I would try with 1,000 people. And then if you done uh, with 1,000 people, you would feel like, oh, the next one I could do 2,000, I could do 10,000 even, right? And then it doesn't always go up, right? The number of the audience sometimes it goes down, like from 1,000, and the next speech would be just 100. And if that happens, you would have the confidence that you need because you've done it with 1,000 people, right? So 100 people is just a little number for you. It's not. It's not like it's giving you more pressure. No, because you have handled the big pressure previously, right? And the next one could be the easy one that you could do, right? So that's how uh, an introvert could build the confidence by doing the public speaking again and again and again. Over time, you would feel more confident than you previously feel.
And I have a question. Uh, the social media uh, It's make life extra of or handler of for introverts.
Mhm.
Like
Can you repeat the question again?
Oh, okay. Maybe I'll ask some question again.
Okay.
Uh, what was the most challenging public speaking experience? Uh, what was like your most challenging public speaking experience, and how can you overcome it?
Okay, so it's about my personal experience, right? Um, I've done public speaking multiple times. Basically, since I'm a teacher, I speak a lot in front of students, so that gives me the confidence that I need. But previously, when I was still a college student, there is one big event that involves, I think, 100 people as the committee, and I get like 30 groups of WhatsApp group, I guess, and I need to be I'm the one you know who is in charge for that events. We got like five chains of events. There are five events, but those five events is under one name. It's like what do you call that? Like the celebration of like the anniversary of that major, and I'm the one who is in charge for that. So handling 100 people as my team and 30 groups divided into 30 something groups, and I need to talk to them, and I also need to be the opener, like giving the speech for the opening. That's what I think is the biggest pressure in my life, like the most challenging public speaking, because I speak to people from other majors as well. There are people who are watching me, and we get like some lectures, uh, yeah, or in our term docent, right? We have like I think 3 to 5 docent watching us how the event goes. So I need to give a proper speech, right? And yes, back then I'm not used to give speech to in front of people. Like those are people who have high credibility, right? If I made mistake, I would feel like I am ashamed. I would feel embarrassed. But then I prepare with a sheet of paper. So I write what I need to deliver. I don't want to count on my memory because sometimes people forget, right? People forget, and if you forget, you would feel like you are, you don't give the speech properly. You don't feel like you are giving your best because there are some obstacles that you cannot handle. That's what I prepare. That's what I prevent. So I prepare one sheet of paper. I write the important points. So whenever I forget, whenever I want to say the next point, I can just look at the paper and see, oh, this is the next, this is the next, this is the next. And there are important words as well that I prepare, that I write. And when I deliver, I feel like I'm more confident because even if I forget, I have the paper with me, right? And the way I deliver the speech is with, I think something like mimbar, so I can put the paper, and no one can see the paper actually. So I could just see the audience, and then whenever I forget, I look at the paper and then see the audience again. That's that's the most challenging public speaking that I have experienced.
Okay. I have question for ask you.
Mhm.
How does preparation help introverts feel more confident?
Okay. So just like what I said, practice is important, right? If you prepare for your speech, you would feel like, oh, this would be my speech. This wouldn't be just another chat with people. This is I need this moment to deliver, right? If you don't deliver, if you feel like you are nervous and you feel anxious, that could be something that breaks you down, right? You would mentally broken down if you don't give the speech properly, right? But here's the thing: if you practice, you can make mistakes. You can learn from your mistakes and you can improve the next time. If you prepare for that, if you see how, like, if you believe in yourself, you know your quality, you can just do whatever you want. For me, I know that my quality, my capability, I sometimes forget, and that's why I prepare a sheet of paper in the most important, the most challenging public speaking that I have ever done. If you think you can memorize all your speech carefully, then just go on with it. If you feel like, oh, I have good memory, I have a good quality in delivering the speech, sure, you can just do that. But if you feel like, oh, I think I'm not good at this, I need to prepare for this. If this happens, I need this to happen. You need to handle that. Like if you forget and you don't prepare a paper, how would you handle that? That should be in your mind before you give the speech. So whenever you forget, you can just, oh, okay, let's just ask the audience how they feel. You can take over the stage and then uh, start to tell a story, right? Story about yourself that is related to speech or something. So people wouldn't notice that you forget your text, right? Because if you forget, people feel like, ah, he's not a good speaker. You're not a good speaker. And that could destroy your confidence. As long as you learn from your practice and as long as you treat your performance as practice, you can start learning. You can start removing things that you think would burden your speech. If you feel like, oh, I think this part is too hard to deliver. Okay, let's get rid of that. This part is too easy or this part is too common. Okay, let's improve this part to be better. So if you prepare for that, I believe you can do whatever you want without feeling, you know, ashamed. You without feeling that you would be making mistakes because you prepare for it. Even if you do mistakes, you know how to handle that, right? So that's how you handle, uh, the stage. That's how you be confident with yourself. Do you guys have you guys uh, talked in front of people?
Yes.
Yes, actually.
Okay, how uh, how much is the audience? Like how big is the audience?
Maybe like it's not much. Just it's around 50 maybe or 40.
50 or 40? Okay, that's a good
Yes,
start. Because later, when you are older, when you graduate from your school, you would face more people, right? The
yes,
people around you, the people from uh, around your home, yeah, would be your people that you face daily. So you need to prepare for it.
oh. And for you, can an introvert become a great motivational speaker?
Can an introvert become a great motivational speaker? Yes, I believe they can. There's nothing impossible in this world if you aim for it. If you don't aim for it, you can just, skip that part of becoming a great motivational speaker. But if you really want to be a motivational speaker, you need to learn how to be a proper one, right? As I said, there is nothing to do, it has nothing to do with personality. Introverts can be a great motivational speaker on the stage, right? But when you have done with your speech, when you have done with your session, you might feel like you become an introvert again. Like you're still an introvert, you just do your part in giving the speech as a motivational speaker. Then when you get home, you can feel really lonely. You can enjoy loneliness, right? And that could charge yourself. That could give you your energy back, right? Because that's what makes it different between the introverts and extroverts. Extroverts need to meet a lot of people to recharge their energy, while introverts they need some loneliness. They need to be alone to recharge their energy. So they can still meet people. It's not like you are antisocial, right? You need to differentiate between antisocial and introverts. Antisocial is that you don't want to meet other people. You just want to be alone in your room. Uh, Even when you have a family event, you don't want to meet the family. You don't want to go out of your room. You don't want to have dinner together. That is, I believe, that is more like antisocial. But if you're feeling you are enjoying loneliness, you enjoy feeling lonely. But when there are times where you need to be with people, you can still do that. You are able to meet people. You are able to smile to others. You are able to deliver the speech even though you have like 1,000 of people as the audience. That is introverts, right? So giving or becoming a motivational speaker or anything else that has something to do with you know uh, presenting in front of people, I think that could be one of the great improvement as the introvert, because introverts tend to be shy. They tend to be, you know they don't want to be famous. They don't want to be known by others. And that's why when you become a great motivational speaker, that could break the stigma. They could break uh, the, what do you call that? Not prototype. Uh, what do you call that? Mm, yeah, stereotype. Sorry, you can break that stereotype of introverts that cannot speak in front of people. Right? If you really want to be a great motivational speaker, from now you can start looking up. Like you can learn from one people that you really like. Yeah, let's say there is one preacher, one da'i that you really want to be. You can be like that. You can learn how to deliver. You can learn how to structure your speech. So from now, you can start learning. And when you grow up, you can start practicing.
Okay. I have a question for you.
Mhm.
What is advice? What advice would you give to a student who is the introvert but wants to become a leader?
Okay, what
Uh,
advice I would give to introverts that will become a leader?
yes, like
Okay,
that.
I myself, I have led several organization, small organization, just like classroom. Classroom is an organization, right? You have something called ketua kelas, and then when I grew up, I was also part of the leaders in one big organization. So being an introvert, that will really hard for you if you don't practice speaking to others. I know it is uncomfortable. I know you don't like it. I know it would be difficult for you to meet people, but please practice. What does it mean by practice? Please talk to others. Please normalize yourself to speak to other people because that's what a leader is. A good leader is the one who can communicate the problem with the team, right? If you're not a good leader, you would feel like, oh, the problem is mine. The problem is just my problem. My team doesn't have to. They don't have to know. They don't need to know. The problem is me. The problem is uh, for me to solve. So everything would burden yourself if you think you are the problem solver of every problem. But in reality, you need your team to solve some problems, right? And you cannot do that if you don't communicate the problem with your team. Even though you are a leader, even though people see you as a good problem solver, but if you do it again and again, you would burden yourself. You would feel like, oh, I got too much problem to solve, so that you cannot supervise your team, you cannot supervise how they work, and that would make the organization bad. A good leader is the one who can try to solve the problem together, not like just you, yeah, but also with your team. Maybe not like everyone in your team needs to know. No, maybe just some 2 to 3 people, to 5 people. If it involves other people in other division, you talk to that division. Other division doesn't have to know, right? But if you can communicate that clearly with the one who are involved, then you can have your problem solving easier. It's not like you have the problem uh, be in your mind forever. No, you can just share that with the people you trust. And how to share that with people you trust? You communicate. I know you feel like, oh, I don't really like to talk about problems. I don't want people to feel like I'm just giving them problems. No, you are in the organization, you are the leader. Ask them to solve this together. Just don't, throw it out. Don't You don't do it like, oh, this is the problem, you solve this. No, you solve it together, right? There are leaders who try to solve the problem by themselves, and there are leaders who give the problem to others, and there are leaders who solve the problem together. So if you think you want to become a good leader, from now on, you learn how to communicate to others. Even though what you communicate is not pleasant, it doesn't make them happy, but you need to communicate that. Even though it's a bitter truth, right? Like for example, you have a friend who does uh, really bad in cleaning the room, for example. Whenever he cleans the room is not properly cleaned. As a person, as an introvert, you would feel like, it's okay, let me do it. Let me clean uh, the room. Let me clean the one that they don't clean really properly. So you just sweep the dirt, right? You you take it easy. You take it easy, like, okay, if people cannot solve that problem, maybe I could do that, right? But a good leader is that when you see a friend who has the schedule of cleaning the room, but they don't clean it properly, you talk to them like, oh, today is your schedule to clean the room, right? I still see some dirt here. I still see some rubbish in the trash bin. I still see some plastic bags under the table. Can you please do it properly? When you ask them, you learn how to communicate, right? You learn how to not hurt that person's feeling. You learn how to uh, communicate that smoothly so that there is no tension between you. There is no conflict between you and your team, right? And that's what makes a good leader.
Okay, and I have some more question for you. How can introvert make their voices heard without pretending to be an extrovert?
Okay, how to make an introvert's voice heard? Here's the thing: introverts needs to speak up because, as I said, like in the previous case, if someone makes mistake, you would feel like, oh, okay, it's just their mistakes. If there is something that I could do, I would do it. But if you don't act on it, the problem would be still there, right? So if you have a good idea in uh, what do you call that? In a community or in one meeting, let's say, you have one brilliant idea and no one say similar thing, right? You can just raise your hand and speak it up. The thing is, most of the introverts they don't speak up, right? They just tend to listen to the majority. They just follow what the leader instruct, and then they do that. If you want your voice to be heard, you need to make that voice heard. How? If you raise your hand, you communicate that. You don't do that as you know as a sign of being an extrovert. No, right? You can still be quiet during the meeting. You can still listen to the leader of the meeting. You can comprehend. You can find the problem. You can find uh, the solution as well. And if you have the solution, please tell that. Tell people your solution. Don't just sit there listening to the problems that you have and then just, okay, if someone has the idea of doing this, I would follow that. Well, if you don't agree with the idea, say you don't agree, right? If you don't agree with people who has different opinion with you, say it out loud. For example, in a meeting of a classroom, someone asks you, okay, how can we clean the room properly? Oh, let's make a schedule. Monday, these people. Tuesday, these people. This day, these people. So different day, different people, right? But then you start thinking, oh, I think I have a better idea. What's the idea? Okay, so people needs to have their own specialty, let's say. There are some people who clean the room every day. There are people who set up the chair every day. There are people who prepare for the stationery every day. So you share the responsibility, but you don't share the time, right? You do that every day, people do this every day, people do that every day. So you think that could be a better idea. And you need to tell the classroom leader or the classroom teacher that you have this kind of idea. If you don't speak it out loud, if you don't tell them, people wouldn't know that you have a brilliant idea, right? So instead of just uh, standing or sitting there doing nothing, please tell people what you have in mind. And that's how your voice be heard.
Okay, so I have the last question for this. So for the last question is, how can introvert improve their communication skill over time?
Okay. How can introverts improve their communication skills over time? Okay. This has been our topic since like the past 10 minutes or the past 10 minutes, right? Introverts needs to communicate, just like I said. If they want to be a leader, if they want to be a motivational speaker, they need to communicate. But how to communicate properly with people? That's your question, right? Okay, you can start really small. You can start small. How? Talk to your friends. Talk to your closest one. You feel like you are feeling comfortable with your friend at school, but you don't really feel comfortable with your family at home. You can start talking to your family. What do you talk about? Anything. Your examination grade, your problem at school, um, your maybe you have an achievement, you tell them. You have an award that you win, tell them. Even the smallest thing like you got this chicken during the lunch and you really like it, and then in the afternoon you go home, meeting your family, you can just tell the story of the chicken. So the small steps that you can do is to communicate what you have experienced to the closest people you have. Maybe you are at school right now, talk to your friends, one closest friends, and the next time to other friends that you feel like you're not really close, but I know them well, you can just talk to them. Next time you have more people that you know, you can tell them what you really feel. Later, when it's holiday, when you go home, you can tell your family, your brother, your sister, what you feel like, what you really feel during the school. So that's how you communicate small, right? With the people, with the closest one that you have. And after you feel really confident in speaking out what you feel, then you can start talking broadly. You can start talking to strangers, you can start talking to your relatives, yeah, like maybe your aunts, your uncles, your cousins, your grandfathers, your grandmothers. You can start talking anything. That's how you build confidence, or you keep, uh, that's how you talk properly to people. That's how you practice your communication skills. Because what I notice is that introverts, because they are introverts, they tend to not share everything about themselves, right? They don't want to be said, they don't want to be called oversharing. Well, you don't really need to overshare. Just share one tiny moment in a day or two moments. You can just share what you feel like, oh, this is interesting to your friends. Not like everything about yourself, no. Like your family background, your childhood memory. You don't really have to share that. Share what you experience right now. Like today, you have this webinar. You can tell them to your friends, tell it to your family. Your family might not know that you have this kind of experience, right? But when they know about this, they would feel like, oh, maybe they could be proud of you. Maybe they could give you some advice of how to be a good public speaker as well. Maybe they have some tips. Maybe they have some connection with people who can train you to be a motivational speaker, right? So it starts from small talk. People who are opening a big business, they usually start small with a talk in a coffee shop. So probably with 1%, 2%, they talk, they share, and then they have the idea of opening a business. They share it with their friends. Oh, and then your friend has the same idea, and then your friend can have like, oh, let's build this business together. Then they make it, right? So something big comes from a small thing. And if you really want to maintain your communication skills, you need to communicate more. You need to communicate uh, often, right? You need to deliver what you feel like sharing, even what you share is not a good news to other people, right? You learn how to deliver bad news as well, because in order to uh, in order to be a leader, in order to be a great communicator, is to deliver bad news. If you can deliver that without hurting other people's feeling, then you can consider yourself as a great communicator.
Okay, because that was the last question. Thank you for Katorik and for the others for coming to this event. Maybe that's all from us. Wassalamualaikum
Okay.
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Katorik. Have a
Thank
nice
you.
day.